Hello class, this is Demetrius Wilson, BA 121 Sales. We are now on Chapter 12, Closing the Sale, the Power of Negotiating to Win. And what we want to get into is a win-win situation, not necessarily a win-lose situation where one of the sides is in a losing side of the battle. In the video ride along, the video Closing the Sale features Lisa Peskin again. She's a sales trainer at the Business Development University. She shares her insight on how to close a sale and discusses how a quick no is next best to a yes. So yes is obviously the best, but a quick no is not the worst thing in the world. A long drawn out no, that because they've gone through all the objections, is possibly not too good, but a quick no is not the end of the world. The video ride along discussion questions evaluate the role of negotiation when closing a sale, because it is a negotiation process. In a sales scenario, closing occurs only at the end of the process. Verify this statement. So how they say always be closing, they say at the end, well, you know, it's kind of, you can look at it in two different ways. You could look at it, they say always be closing, so the close really starts and works throughout the selling experience, or you could just say the actual act of the close is right at the end. Tomato, it's just different ways to look at it. Chapter objectives, discuss how to successfully close a sale, learn how to negotiate so that all parties win. Remember, I talked about a win-win scenario. And understand how to negotiate and accept the right job offer. That's one of the things that I definitely want to encourage you to pay close attention to. Closing the sale. So a close is a consummation of the sale when the prospect agrees to the purchase, right? So they agree to the purchase, you shake hands, there you go, we have a sale. Closing is bringing the sale to fruition and getting the sale, right? So closing is the act of performing the close. Closing time, like here at the bar is closing time. So closing is an ongoing series of events that occurs throughout the selling process, right? So it occurs throughout the selling process, as I mentioned before, not just at the end. So you're listening for cues and when you're supposed to close, but then you're also saying, so, in your pre-qualifying. So at this point, do we see any objections that would stop you from making this purchase or making this purchase? And they say no, then you move forward. So that's part of your close and part of like the trial close. Since closing is not a definitive part of the selling process, you effectively get the order using a trial close. The difference between a trial close and a trial close asks for an opinion, whereas a close asks for a decision. So just like I said, I say, hey, in your opinion, would you object this if this is where everything stood? And they say, no, in our opinion, I wouldn't. But a close, do you say yes or no and get a definitive answer? So this is what the close is not. So don't take it this way. It's not a high-pressure exchange between seller and buyer, right? That's not what we're doing. And it's not time when the salesperson resorts to trickery, manipulation, or other unsavory tactics just to get a sale. That is not what you want to do. That is against our business ethics and also against our better judgment. So ABC in sales say always be closing or always be opening. And for someone who works in an organization that has different business products, always be opening is a huge component of continuing to funnel funds through our organization. So when you close too soon, the customer thinks that the process is over and mentally moves on to something else. At this stage, ask exploratory questions, understand what the customer needs and how to meet those needs, right? So what do you need? And I'll show you how I can meet those needs. Focusing your selling efforts in the ABO or the always be opening way makes it easier to sell additional products and services to existing customers, right? So if you're always opening those doors, it's easier and you continue that relationship for you to say, hey, sold you payroll. Now, I know that you need 401k and insurance services. Our company would like to sell that to you as well. So in Always Be Opening, the video The Secret of Closing features sales guru Jeffrey Gitmer, as from other chapters. He explains the meaning of quick closing the sale, because you don't want to close the sale off. You want to keep it open. You want to continue with that established relationship so that you can sell additional products and upsell the client. When to close, when the prospect displays positive body language and interaction, like, oh yeah, Demetrius, where can I get one of these treadmills, right? Think I should close them. When the prospect asks questions and after you handle an objection, right? So after you handle this massive objection, great time to close because now they are impressed. These are different types of closes. Direct request close, right? So give me a yes or no, yay or nay. Benefit summary close. Now I'm going to give you the benefits, summary of those. Then I'm going to close. Assumptive close. I'll just assume that that you're going to buy this. Alternative choice close. Do you want to go with treadmill A or treadmill B? Complement or vanity close, and then combination close, where you use a combination of any of those different types of closes. So also a great video on that. So the video assumptive and alternative choice closes features Lisa again, and she discusses the assumptive close and the alternative choice close and how both can be used effectively. So it's good to watch these videos because it shows you this is when you use close A and this is when you use close B, so you get a better understanding in your head. Once you have that better understanding, then you can go out and implement it in the real world. Closing complex sales, which is what we all want to eventually do because that's where the big money is. Complex sales, a sale of a high-value product or service, usually over $100,000. You have 4 phases when you're closing that complex sale. Discover, right? So you're going to discover, just like in legal terms, you're going to discover, get all the information. You want to diagnose what is needed here. You want to design what is our product that will provide a solution, and then you want to deliver. 4 phases of closing a complex sale. This is an exercise I want you to do on your own. So pause it right here, read to the right about choosing descriptors, and see which one you would put it under: discover, diagnose, design, or deliver. Negotiation, very important in sales, also very important in your career, is the act of discussing an issue between 2 or more parties with competing interests with the aim of coming to an agreement. We want to come to an agreement, but I want $100,000 and you only want to give me $50,000. Let's negotiate. It provides profit for an organization. During the negotiation process, you must be prepared, you must listen, and you must probe, right? Definitely be prepared. Proper planning prevents poor performance. You have to be prepared going into negotiation or you will not get what you want. And you have to listen. You have to listen to what they're saying and also listen to what you're saying and then probe further to get what you want. Negotiate to a win-win-win, right? And that's the best. We want a win-win situation, not a win-lose, right? We don't want a loser in the situation. We want everybody to feel like they won. Successful negotiation delivers a mutually beneficial solution to all parties and a collaborative in nature, right? So we want to collaborate together, come up with a solution. Collaborative negotiating depends on trust. We must have trust between the two of us, whether it's a client and in a business relationship or it's a company and a potential employee relationship. You want to gain commitment and you want to manage opposition, right? So get your commitment. So I want 100,000. You want to give me 50,000. Can you commit to 75? Let's shake on it. The 3 elements of negotiation. You have information, right? This is the information that we have. You have power, and then you have timing. So if you think about let's take boxing for example, and you have these guys who want to negotiate a fight. Well, if you're the A side of the promotion, you will get more money and you can dictate the terms, right? You have the power. If you're the B side of the promotion, that means you don't have as much power and you kind of have to deal with what the person on the A side says. So, just like you look at that, look at boxing's like that, UFC, they're set up a little different. Their company is the A side because they're actually the promoter and they don't really allow like a management relationship there. So they're always going to be the A side and you kind of have to, go towards their terms, and the negotiation process is quite complicated and hard for those athletes and or fighters. Steps in the negotiation process. So once you review this, but it's pre-negotiation, negotiation, and post-negotiation. So what you do before you negotiate, what you do while you negotiate, and what you do after you negotiate. I want you to read those 3. Pause the video there. Read those 3 very quick, very carefully. Whether you read it there or read it in the textbook doesn't matter, but as long as you read it. Learning from the master. The video Negotiate. This features Herb Cohen, celebrated speaker and negotiator. He discusses some powerful negotiation techniques. We can all use additional negotiation techniques. Hopefully I'll be using mine in the near future. Selling you. So always at the end of the chapter, we talk about selling you and what you need to do in an interview. And negotiation is a very, very important part of an interview. Negotiating to win your job offer, which is so, so important. So you want to know what you're worth. So you want to establish your values in your first contact with your prospective employer. Make a great first impression. You can't get another first impression. Keep in mind that compensation is different from salary, right? Compensation is everything included. So that's like your 401k, your benefits, all that stuff. And your salary is a fixed amount of money that is paid regularly, right? So your salary is what you get in your check. Your compensation is your insurance, your money, everything involved. And sometimes people don't think it's like a big deal, but your insurance is a lot of money. Minimum $10,000 is what your insurance is worth. So you have to pay close attention to that as well, even when making employment decisions, that the salary is not the only thing that you have to look at. Salary may go way up, but the benefits may go way down, where it may level off, and you may not even be gaining anything if you move from one employer to another. These are websites for researching compensation. So if you need to do that, or if you want to do some extra research, pause and look through those, or utilize the text to look through them. But you find out what you're worth. You also find out what you should be getting going into a job. Receiving the offer, hopefully that's something that we all do when we go out to job interviews. So job offers are extended over the phone, in a letter, and in person. All right. Typically, if it's a letter, it's not a job offer though. Always be prepared to respond to a job offer if one is presented during an interview. When you receive, or not necessarily respond to it saying that you have to agree to it, but at least know how to respond and say, well, I'm going to have to take this home, talk with my family, crunch some numbers, and I'll come back with the answer tomorrow. Right? I'm not saying that you have to answer it, but you just have to be prepared for it. When you receive the offer over the phone, write down every element of the offer. Thank the person who made the offer. Convey to the person that made the offer that you are pleased to receive it, but do not accept it right away. Right. So you have to listen to this advice. Some people are so eager sometimes to get a job. I'll take it. Right. And they could have got a lot more money. I know people that say, man, I should have negotiated. I'll say, well, yeah, you should have. So you never feel bad. People kind of feel bad and funny about negotiating, and they feel like, well, if I'm trying to negotiate more, they're going to take the job away from me. You can go ahead and ixnay that feeling, because that's not going to help you. Responding to offer in an interview. The video Human Resources, How to Negotiate Salary During a Job Offer, provides insight on how to negotiate if it is offered on the spot, different things that you can do. Evaluating the offer. When your prospective employer indicates that you are their choice for the position, you can take the offer. Counter offer, which I don't remember a time when I haven't counter offered, or decline the offer. Instances in which I have declined the offer just because it wasn't a good fit and wasn't a great place for me to go to. Evaluate the offer by creating a list of elements of the offer, right? So you want to do your pros and your cons and everything, and evaluate and see where you stand, see where you land. Compensation elements to consider in a job offer, right? So obviously salary is right there at the top, but then you have your bonus, your vacation hours, sick time, all of that stuff is on there. It's continued company culture, work environment, elements to consider when evaluating your job offer. So it's not just the cost. It could be something like travel time to get there. It could be the fact that they have a cafeteria in the office, all kinds of different things. Evaluating the offer. So these are additional resources that may help you evaluate your job offer. So check those out, especially if you're in the midst of interviewing or looking for a new company. Careerplanningabout.com, RileyGuide.com. Go to those, utilize those resources. Negotiating the offer, you want to find common ground by keeping in mind the things that are important to you and to your prospective employer. So what's important to me is cash, right? And what's important to them, the productivity. So you keep emphasizing the fact that, hey, these are my numbers. This is what I did. This is exactly what I'm going to do here. And they want to reemphasize to you, like, we will work with you on the money. Contact the recruiter or prospective employer when you have identified the areas you wish to negotiate, along with your counteroffer for each area. And negotiate with a confident and collaborative attitude. So you can be confident, you don't have to be cocky, and a collaborative attitude that says, hey, let's work together. What do you need? I'll tell you what I need. Let's see if we can get to some type of common ground. Should you negotiate a job offer? Yes, you should. The video Negotiating a Job Offer features Tanya Murphy. We've seen her in prior chapters as well, General Sales Manager at WBEN FM. She expresses her view on people who negotiate their job offers, right? People who don't, that you can get a different type of opinion formulated by you, formulated in regards to how you're doing things, because maybe they think that, hey, this person's not a strong negotiator. Maybe they're not great at sales because they didn't negotiate at all. And I've heard people go in with a negative view. I've also heard people negotiate and then job offers, or not negotiate, and then job offers be rescinded. And they said, you know what, we're going to go with this other candidate because the negotiation process just kind of fell through. So I always say negotiate. I've never seen an instance where people have negotiated and asked for more, and they said, you know what, I'm tired of you asking for more. We're going to take the job off the table. I just haven't seen that happen. A lot of times they just say, hey, this is as much as we can offer, and let's go from there. Negotiating a job offer, the video Career Center, How to Negotiate Salary, demonstrates key points about negotiating a job offer and how to best answer the question, what is your salary expectation during an interview? And there are great videos on YouTube, especially one of the ladies that does a couple of things in the Flat World textbooks about negotiating. She's really, really good, and you should check those out. Maybe I'll post those in our modules to show that she has some great opinions in terms of what you should do, being nice, cool, calm, and collected, and just kind of letting the people know this is where I'm at, this is where I'm going to be, and this is where I want you to kind of meet me at. And I've been in those situations before, and I've had other people tell me, hey, maybe you shouldn't negotiate so hard or so strong, but I haven't been on the end where I've negotiated, appropriately, and then they've said, you know what, we're good, we're going to go the other direction. I've had people who I've hired who I said, hey, this guy should have negotiated for more money, but he didn't, and that's on him. So it does leave me thinking a certain different way about people when they don't negotiate. To your favorite slide, the summary. So closing is not an event, but an ongoing part of the selling process that starts with prospecting and qualifying. A successful negotiation is one that focuses on open, honest communication and yields a win-win resolution, right? We do not want a win-lose resolution. Before you begin your job search, you do your research and know what you are worth in the marketplace, right? So you have to do your marketplace, do your research in the marketplace, do your research in terms of the company. Proper planning prevents poor performance. And remember, successful negotiation, you need to be honest and you need to be open with the individual, and don't be tentative because that will put you definitely in the wrong boat from the start. So that's it for chapter 12. That's 32 slides, and chapter 12 is over. All we have left is chapters 13, 14, and 15, I believe. So make sure you take your chapter 12 quiz. Make sure you do your assignment. And, your test will be coming up soon for chapter 12, which will be on chapters 9, 10, 11, and 12. But as always, I want you all to have a good day and a great week.